'Cause you niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins,
That's me.
and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn.
Woo!
You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault. Woo-hoo. Woo-hoo.
Without remorse, we can't get together. I'm Brandon Collins.
I'm Justin Brown.
And we are medium popcorn, breaking down movies with niggas that have no chin.
You and your hate for Michael B. Jordan.
I don't have hate for Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, you do, nigga. You every time he comes on screen, you talk. He ain't got no chin. He ain't got no. All because Tati would leave you for Michael B. Jordan at the drop of a dime.
I know it. I don't like how easy it is for her. You know, I almost had an opportunity to interview that dude.
And what were you gonna say to him?
Well, I was going to ask him a question about this boring ass movie, but then I realized if I'm that close to him, even if it's over a Zoom call, that's too close for comfort. Because you know Tatiana gonna be right behind me while I'm talking to this dude, and then she's gonna throw out my number is 646. And be like, no.
Then that's how it happens, man. That's how it happens. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, me and you, we're decked out in black and we're storming his house.
Oh yeah, because he's gonna think that he can do this shit. We really can do this shit. Because I'm a train.
That didn't make any sense.
I meant like in regards to the army, like covert ops shit that his character does in this movie.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you think that you can actually go into his house and take him out.
I mean, with the right training, yeah, I could take on Creed.
You sure, Brandon?
I mean, I feel like
Hand to hand?
I would have to like throw some dust in his eye and shit. Like I would
Like
have
you
to,
Mr. fucking Fuji?
I would have to do something to distract the nigga. Maybe I'll do a magic show. I'll probably do like a Trojan.
What?
Yeah, I'll do like a Trojan horse thing, right? Where he's having like a birthday party. I'll come in as fucking Uncle Magic, and then I'll start doing some. I'll be like, oh, I'm Uncle Magic's protege or whatever, because he's from New York. Like he's from the Newark area, right? So then I'd be like, hey, look at this bird that I'm popping out, nigga, and then I shoot him while he trying to look at the bird.
Okay, all right.
Did you ever see that video of the magician who had the Popeyes chicken?
Yes, yeah. That was hilarious. That was great.
So nigga.
Yeah. That was very Negroidian, and I liked it.
Okay, so this movie has been hyped a lot.
Yeah, it's like as soon as I turn on my TV, boom, Michael B. Jordan's face is right there, without remorse.
Yeah, it's all over Amazon. You can't go on Amazon Prime without this shit being at the top, which makes sense. It's a big budget movie.
Yeah.
You know that I believe, Michael B. Jordan's production company had a hand in it. You know, Paramount Pictures. So there's a lot riding on this being like a franchise starter. Obviously, Michael B. Jordan's playing a lead role in what would typically be a white guy, right? Like this, I believe this character's been portrayed by white people, and in the past, like Keanu Reeves and Tom Hardy have been approached for this role.
Oh, okay.
When it was in development hell and shit for the role of John Kelly, which sounds like a very white name.
It does.
I don't know no brother's named John Kelly. Also, those are two first names.
Yeah, you never trust somebody with two first names.
No.
Yeah.
Never, man.
Like Brandon Collins.
What?
That's right.
What about Justin Brown?
Brown is in the first.
Yeah, I've never met anyone named Brown.
Yeah, somebody that's like, hey, what's your first name? Brown? Like, what? I'm a color, nigga. Like, what are you talking about? Even though I just dropped the S off your last name to make it work, but you just went completely elsewhere.
I know. I messed up. You know what was most disappointing about this movie, though?
Go ahead.
Is that Taylor Sheridan is one of the writers. And we love his work. Hell or High Water, Wind River. Like, we like his stuff. Sicario.
Yeah, but this is also based off of a book.
Yeah, I never read any of these. Was it Tom Clancy?
Yeah, Tom Clancy.
I never read any of his books.
I played some of his video games.
So I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, so this is some Rainbow Six shit.
Yes.
Because that's what the sequel's setting up.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, I remember playing Rainbow Six Vegas or some shit. Mm-hmm. That game was wild.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm like, oh, this zombie movie in Vegas could be dope as fuck because, like, for the Rainbow Six, you're doing like covert operations through like casinos and shit.
Yeah.
And that was like insane.
Yeah, no, I mean, like those games are like really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then like once they added an online component, and then you can have a team of 6, and you guys are all going. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Now here's my issue. One of my biggest issues. When you have actually 2 black leads, because Jodie Turner-Smith is like, I would argue maybe the second lead.
Yeah.
You know, as like it's like his commander, right? Mm-hmm. When you have 2 black leads and then 2 shady white guys, yeah, one of them's gonna be your bad guy. Like they had the red herring where Jamie Bell, like, you know, the Ritter character, that they were like, oh, he can't be trusted because of like the fake operation that ended up revealing to be Russia involved and shit.
Yeah.
And then Guy Pearce pops up. I'm like, well, one of these niggas is the bad guy.
Yeah, so it's like not both of y'all could be on our side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, they also try to toss it off on. I'm sorry, what's her name? Young lady's name. That was his commander.
Joni Turner Mitchell.
Yes.
I mean, Joni Turner Smith. Shit.
Yeah, so they tried to toss off on her like she may have been the bad guy, but then that fell through immediately.
Yeah, I never got that impression. Oh, you know who she's married to, right?
No.
Joshua Jackson, Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was pregnant. She was in her 2nd trimester, I think, when she was filming this movie.
Oh, wow. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over.
In the morning comes and Dawson runs. I don't know the words, man.
Neither do I.
I used to watch that show like all the time, though. I remember Pacey was so cool. He fought this teacher and shit.
Yeah, man. Have you ever wanted to fuck a teacher, man?
Yes. I had some hot teachers.
Yeah, he was just like, it's like, man, just give me one shot. And you know, there's always rumors. It's like, oh, this kid is fucking that teacher. I'm just like, no, he's not.
I always feel like it's the low key kids that like you don't hear about that shit that are fucking the teacher. It's not like the braggadocious kids that are like, oh, I fucked that teacher, or like, oh, did you hear someone so fuck that teacher? It's like, yeah, I did. And it's like, no, you didn't.
Yeah.
But it's the quiet nerd in the corner. It's like, man, she sucked my dick real good last night. I got an A+.
Yeah, he ain't gonna. It's not the football player. It's the dude who's like, you know, a literary scholar, and they've been sitting around reading the English papers together. Next thing you know, his little things.
Talking about T.S. Eliot and shit. Yeah, you know, be like Angelical Cats.
Yep. That's how it happens, man. Mm-hmm. Guys, don't get caught up in the bullshit. We're talking real shit right now.
I don't know where we're at.
I don't know either.
All right, so this whole movie revolves around this fucked up mission that John Kelly and his crew got looped in by Jamie Bell's character. Mm-hmm. And at first they said they were what? Who was the target? Like Syrian.
Yes. Well, it was in Syria.
Yeah,
so.
But they've said they were going after like.
Well, so basically, one of their operatives, CIA operative, somebody was captured.
Yeah.
And then it was basically a rescue mission. Mm-hmm. So it was an extraction mission.
But then it turned out that they were Russians, and they were like, "What the fuck? You didn't say it was Russians."
Yeah. So basically, you start bringing Russians in it. Now you got a big problem because obviously, you know, even though we're not in a Cold War, we're kind of in a Cold War with the Russians.
Yeah.
So like, you know, this could, you know, spawn off, you know, World War III.
Yeah, which I feel like is always the case. I'm like, man, if we and Russia and like, you know, North Korea are in such bad relations, why don't we just fucking end it? Just be like, hey, niggas, stop playing games or we're going to blow you up. I didn't mean that was weird.
No, but at the same time, it's just like, well, obviously you can't blow up all of Russia.
I know, but that was the only, and you know I hate Trump.
Yeah.
The only thing, but this also terrified me, that I was mildly entertained with was when he had that press conference about North Korea. You remember when he has arms folded? And he was like, they best not do anything to try to attack us. Otherwise, we will show them fury that like the hell has never seen or some shit. I was like, damn.
But you know,
that's what North Korea was like. Oh, this nigga's crazy.
Hey, let's be friends.
Yeah, that's essentially what happened.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, he's as crazy as you pretend to be.
Oh, I think he's fed his fucking uncle to dogs too.
Oh, jeez, yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, that's wild.
He killed a bunch of family members.
Yeah. You gotta secure the bag, baby.
So yeah, so then they, this mission goes awry. They lose like one or two people. They're all pissed at Jamie Bell's character. And then 3 months later, okay, so the dudes on the team, on the SEALs team, are starting to get killed by these Russian operatives.
Yeah.
So you have Cam Cadet, who's been in a lot of the movies we reviewed. Mm-hmm. He gets killed. This other white dude gets killed.
Nigga gets run over by a fucking truck.
That was wild.
In front of his daughter.
Taking out the garbage. I was like, woo!
Yeah.
That was the only exciting part about this movie.
Oh, those deaths?
Yeah, because I'm like, also, there was way more people in that group. Yeah. Why'd they stop at John Kelly?
That's true.
I was like, take out more. So then it's like John Kelly's the last target. Yeah, and they had the opportunity to like warn him, but they didn't. Like there's a few missed opportunities here, I thought.
Well, I think part of it is the fact is that like those were guys, they were like the leads. So those were his people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you got to take out those guys and then take out him because those guys are going to talk. The other guys are just, operatives or whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, first guy, they ran him over with the car. Second dude, he's driving, and then all of a sudden they just pop out of a truck and just light his ass up.
Yep.
Ooh,
that was wild.
Yeah. Whew.
I was just like, poor Cam Cadet, man. He just keeps getting murked in all these movies.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but then again, at the same time, I also look at it as like this book was actually written in the 90s.
Yeah.
So it does have that 90s
It feels very dated.
Yeah.
It's very strange for something that seems to be like, in current times. Mm-hmm. It does feel like, yeah, this is a story that was made by a white dude in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you have a black lead. Like, and again, I like Taylor Sheridan's work. It's just, there was something off about this.
Yeah, but like I said, being adapted from this Tom Clancy book into this, it's kind of it's tough to make this up to date because when you look at the 90s, cinema has progressed so much. So if we're looking at a script that's from 20 fucking years ago, it's just like, yo, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and also, I mean, the other co-writer, apparently he co-wrote Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and rewrote Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. So he has some experience doing like, espionage, political thrillers and shit. So it's like, what happened? Because this is, for me, it felt incredibly boring.
Oh, yeah, it kind of
even dragged. The action scenes, I was like, what? I was like, how? Okay, I was like, how is Michael B. Jordan, a black man, able to do half the shit he's able to do? And this is a foe for Hollywood, I would say, because Hollywood has marginalized, especially black actors, so much. It's hard for me as a black man to suspend belief that Michael B. Jordan, wounded, could steal a Russian van and drive through the city without being stopped.
I mean, well, yeah. I mean, he did cover himself, but
after they were on high alert about somebody being in the city, blowing up shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it was like things like that where I'm like,
I mean, but I guess that also goes back to Tenet with John David Washington goes, the beginning, the opening scene. He goes in there. It's like, yo, this nigga's black. Everybody and he's in like Eastern Europe. Everybody shoot that guy. He doesn't belong here. Yeah,
and it's I know like some people would be like, oh no, like the world's becoming more diverse. I'm like, I was in Europe like 3 years ago, and people were looking at me like I was like, they were like, whoa, who's that dude?
Oh yeah,
because they don't see black people.
Dude, when I was in Finland, when I went, well, I mean, it also depends where you are.
Yes. Yeah.
But like, yo, when people realize, it's like, wait a second, that guy's not African. He's like American black. They were just like, oh shit, and like looking at me starry eyes.
That happens a lot. Yeah. Like that happened when I was in Peru. Some in Spanish they were asking Tatiana, what was I? And she was like, oh, he's American black, and they were like, he's a gringo. And I was like, gringo? Is that usually for white people?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but that's like our word for Americans. I'm like,
yeah.
Damn, okay. Like
he's like, oh my God, he's one of them. They do exist.
So that's the only thing that like I really was bothered by it. And also, Michael B. Jordan's just like killing people.
Oh yeah.
Like when he kills that dude in the car, like at the airport, I'm like, yo, you be on a terrorist list.
Well, I mean, let's take.
We're jumping ahead.
Yeah, let's take a step back. So he's got his fine little piece, Miss Laura London.
Okay, Lauren London is a national treasure. Mm-hmm. She's been out. I think she hasn't acted in a while. I think the last thing I saw her in was The Game.
Well, I mean, also,
but she's so bad.
Yeah, she's delicious.
I can't believe that she has a kid with Lil Wayne. But
that's insane.
Besides that, I remember when I first saw her on ATL. Mm-hmm. I was like, this, especially as a kid that was growing up in Michigan, where there was like not that many,
sisters,
not many sisters, but also not like any that were. Like she just had like this thing where I'm like, yo, if she were like here, she'd be like, she's the kind of person that you feel like she walks into a room and everyone notices. Because she's that beautiful.
Well, yeah, because she also has.
And she's got that cute ass smile.
I was about to say that. She has one of those. She has one of those bright up the room kind of smiles, almost childlike in a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that childlike wonder in her smile. Oh, she ain't no baby. You know what I'm saying? She ain't no baby.
Oh boy,
look, she a woman. She a woman.
Yeah, she's a woman that also. The women are treated well in this movie.
Well, I mean,
at least they didn't show her being shot. Like they just showed the dude.
Did.
They showed the dude just putting a bunch of bullets into her.
He was like,
but but at least we didn't see like the body. You know what I mean? Like she is pregnant and stuff. And so real quick, John Kelly doesn't have any family, right?
Guess not.
Because they're able to like erase him at the end. And it doesn't seem like they're worried about anyone recognizing. Because at first I thought Coleman Domingo was like a relative, but then it was like, oh no, they just know each other from the army or some shit.
Yeah.
Because that scene was also corny as fuck. That's why I was like, white people wrote this. Because like the way they had that scene where he was like, oh, you having a daughter? Ha ha. I was just like, this is really corny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thrown off by some of the
Let's drive it home that he's having a kid. But I will say though, this was like one of my worst nightmares.
What happened?
That like somehow when Paul was pregnant the first time, and that somebody,
y'all didn't see Justin's eyes; they just shifted from side to side.
That somebody would murder my wife and kid, and then I have to go on a vengeance campaign.
You would. You would get your
I totally would.
And a sword.
I totally would, man.
And I would be there by your side helping you, but I'd probably get killed within the first hour.
well, I mean, Brandon, you'd probably be the nigga on the phone being like, Justin, I think they're over here. You'd be pointing me in directions. I wouldn't imagine that you would be actually,
Why not, man?
in the heat of battle. Because, Brandon, there's certain niggas that you call on for certain things. And, I wouldn't put you through that. I don't think you're prepared for that.
So you would just put me for like surveillance and shit like that.
Yes, you would be like
the dispatcher.
My logistics man.
Oh, I'd be like your Q.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
I could do that.
Yeah.
I can set you. Oh, dude, I could hook you up like John Wick and shit. I'd be like, desserts, and you're like, giving you knives and shit like that. You get all kinds of guns from me.
Yep.
You'd be like, Brandon, where'd you get these guns from? I'm like, don't worry about that, because that's just gonna make things a little bit murky.
Did you clean the guns, Brandon?
No, I didn't.
No, I didn't. Shit. Next scene, we're cleaning guns.
Yeah, did you scrape off the serial numbers? Yeah, I was gonna get to that, but then HGTV had a really good lever to list it marathon on.
Yeah, so like but this is like something I thought about because I'm crazy.
Yes,
100% crazy. I'm just like, because I guess at that time I was like, God won't let me be happy. He won't let me have a baby.
Jesus Christ,
He won't let this happen. He won't let this work out. Something's gonna go down. She gonna die. He gonna die. I'm gonna be alone all over again.
Oh no. And it was like really sad.
Yeah, man.
Well, I mean, you also did the story about when you thought someone was breaking into your house. You stayed in Jackson's tent.
Yep.
Ready to like kill somebody.
With my one side, because I was just like, one side is hit him in the back of the head, the other hand's for booger hooking.
I do have a bat in the bedroom, And like last week or something like that, I thought someone was in the house, even though we have the security system and everything. Yeah. And I grabbed the bat, yelled out the door. I was like, "If niggas are here, you better leave." And Tati's like, "What?" There was no one in the house, but maybe it's because they left.
Because I scared them off. That's what happened. I swear it.
So yeah, okay. So John Kelly's house gets broken into, and the reason why he's not immediately killed is because he was sleeping on the couch.
Well, no, he was sitting there on the couch listening to music.
Okay. Yeah, they didn't really give a reason why he did that.
Which is, well, first of all,
it was very convenient.
No, John Kelly, he's got a fucking foot fetish because he keeps on talking about her feet.
Okay.
Which is weird. He's just like, "Oh, yeah, I remember that dress and them shoes." Someone's like, "Huh?" And he said, "You want me to rub your feet?" I'm like, "What?"
I mean, some people have feet fetish. Did I ever tell you about when I went to Vegas when I was like 18 with my boy Sean? I went with his family because his parents were it was like a wedding anniversary or something like that. And his cousin Jason, who's this nigga that had the vitiligo disease, and he
had reverse vitiligo.
Yeah, and he had a very Napoleon Dynamite look, but he was like a mixed brother, and he got kicked out of ninja school. So Sean,
yeah,
I told you about this, right?
Fucking crazy
and then
person.
this fucking nigga at a strip, we went to a vampire strip show.
Yes, same.
And like we were seeing these titties just bouncing around and fangs and fake blood and stuff. And I was like, this is wild. On the taxi ride home, this nigga was like, we were like, oh man, she had some really nice titties. And he was like, I liked her feet. Like, what?
That's all you saw, nigga? So it's funny.
That nigga want to buy his alcohol. Pussy ass bitch.
So, like, before he goes downstairs, he's trying to get it in with his pregnant wife. I get it.
I mean, it's Laura London.
Well,
yeah.
Of course. But then she's just like, no, I got to wake up early. Yada, yada. He's like, okay, I'm going to go down. It's like, don't you be listening to music all night. I was like, I'm not. And then he's down there listening to music.
That's right. Like, there is that exposition where he does it a lot.
Yeah.
Got it.
But at the same time, it's just like, you mean go downstairs and beat his dick in the dark? Because he's in the basement, laying on the couch, listening to music off his computer. I'm like, nah. He's in the basement, in the dark, just fucking watching some real gross shit and just going to town.
He's probably on Pornhub on his 100%. Phone.
No, he has like specific fucking kinks, and it's centered around feet. It's like somebody's jacking off somebody with their feet, and then nothing. That's his thing, man. They already set it up.
Yeah. Okay. But then his house gets broken into by these Russian operatives. He kills all of them but one dude who literally uses the might of God to like get back up and slowly drag himself out the house.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
He gets to see like his face and stuff because he's the white dude that's in a bunch of he was not Step Brothers, the one with Mark Wahlberg, the other guys. He's in Stranger Things and stuff like that. We'll talk about his character in a second because I was like, how this is weird. This is too convenient.
All this build up for this.
Yeah. And then so Michael B. Jordan got shot up. Mm-hmm. So he goes to the hospital.
So they both shoot each other.
Well, yeah, but he got shot a few times. Also, did you peep there was no scars on Michael B. Jordan?
Did you peep that there was no blood when he was pulling himself along a white white rug and then onto the bed? There was no blood.
That might have been when before like Amazon Studios had acquired the movie. Where they were like, they're trying to keep it PG-13 probably. Because remember, like, teenage girls, they love some Michael B. Jordan too.
Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? Because if you have blood on like white streaking like that, it's going to be like a hard
But
R.
dude, he's pulling
himself.
I
know.
He got shot like 4 or 5 times, and he's dragging himself along the floor. It's just like, oh no, we're going to have them streaks, doo-doo streaks, all in this bitch. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So,
nigga 8 beats.
First time I had beats, I thought I was bleeding from my butt.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Dude,
terrified.
Beats. He 8 beats.
Also, like
they could have retconned that into the fucking.
Tati, for one of my birthday shows, she made like Beats cupcakes, and that shit. Everyone was like freaking out. They're like, "What's wrong?"
I'm shitting red. It's like it's the cupcakes, guys.
So, all right. So then Karen Greer, who's played by Jodie Turner-Smith, She then meets with Ritter again, and he's like, yeah, so we determined that these Russian dudes are trying to take out people from the old squad. Mm-hmm. And then Guy Pearce comes in because that nigga is he the Secretary of State or some shit?
Yeah,
Secretary of Defense.
Like yeah.
Secretary of Defense.
He's got a job.
And I knew he was shady because he loops in Jodie Turner-Smith's character on a debrief from Ritter, who's like, I was told just to give the information to you. And he's like, no, she's here too. Right? Because he's claiming that he's on her side and he wants to get justice for John and the other fallen soldiers. But I was like, clearly he wants her here so she can hear who the terrorists are.
Yeah.
So then John Kelly can go rogue and kill everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what John Kelly does. He's in prison. And he's in prison because he kills that one diplomat, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He said, or the one that you're seeing in all the trailers, he sets the car on fire. Then he just steps into it.
That was crazy. The car was engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
And he
barehanded
just opened the door, no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine the adrenaline has to be like, prolonging the pain he's feeling.
I mean, but also at the same time, the car just got on fire.
Yeah.
But then again, at the same time, the way he was dumping that fucking gasoline on the car, he'd
be lit up too.
Yeah.
That's what Tatiana said. She's like, he has gasoline probably on his shoes and clothes and shit.
Yeah, like that's not how gas works.
Yeah. And then he just shoots the nigga.
Yeah.
And then he gets arrested.
That one's for your lung. And the next one is just like, Ivan Drago.
Oh my God, that would have Dolph Lundgren should have been in this. That would have been great.
I mean, that would have been fucking, because Dolph Lundgren's a fucking monster of a man. Yeah.
But, okay, so Michael B. Jordan ends up in jail, and that's when Jodie Turner-Smith tells him about the people that they found who were, like, potentially the Russian operatives that, assassinated their crew and tried to kill him and killed his wife.
Yeah.
So. And he's all fucked up. And then he breaks out the prison.
No, he doesn't break out.
Well, no. Okay, they let him out. Well, she gets him out.
Well, yeah. So, first of all,
but he goes to he tries to fight everybody. I was like, come on, guys.
Well, he's like, y'all gonna have to get me out of here and like soon, because like, do you think it's any coincidence that I'm in a prison full of Russian gangsters? And she's just like, oh no, they gonna get him.
Yeah. He was like, you think that was coincidence?
Then he's like, he's in his cell. Guy comes, like, hands up against the wall, whatever. He's just like, no. And a guy comes, and then they come into the SWAT team, and he beats the shit out of these three guys. And he basically holds the guy hostage, and then like,
yeah, and he fills up the sink with a shirt.
Yeah, well, he wraps his
hand with that so he can.
Yeah, and then he puts water on himself so he's a little bit more slick so they can't get a hold of him.
But why'd he put a shirt in the sink for it to fill up?
What's that?
Just to get water like on the floor, like and make it slippery for people? Okay, got it.
But it also makes it slippery for him, so.
Yeah, but it was clear that he was ready to like tangle into water. He gets a lot of water scenes in this movie.
Yeah. He's glistening. He's a glistening nigga.
I mean, they were also like, Michael, you got to take your shirt off.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
but again, he had no scars. And I was like, what is going on?
No, he had a little fucking baby scar.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
He got shot in the abdomen and the other side of the chest.
He got shot like 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
He got shot in his arm,
One quick note about the gasoline and stuff. Remember the scene before that, he goes to the diplomat house or whatever, pretending like he's drunk, and he pours alcohol over himself.
Yes.
So he has alcohol and gasoline.
Yeah, this nigga ain't take a shower.
Yeah, he'd be inferno.
Yeah. He be out
Fuego.
there. He be looking like fucking Michael Jai White from Spawn. That quick.
That's what he should have done instead of this movie. Should have brought back Spawn. I know Jamie Foxx has been cast.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, that was like a year and a half ago. I don't know where that project is now.
I don't see that.
It's by the actual dude who created Spawn. He's making the movie.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's going to make it better. But
I mean, is John Leguizamo going to come back as a little blue nigga? He was crazy, but he was good, though.
That movie was just insane.
Oh, it's terrible. But, like, as far as, like, for that role, I mean, obviously they played it very hokey because that was the 90s.
Yep.
But, like, he was actually... It was kind of decent in a way, his portrayal of that demon thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's the only thing that was watchable.
So then Karen gets him out of the prison. and then they fly with a Black Ops team to like the Russian coast, and they get shot down, and then they end up in the sea, and like there's this intense scene where he's like swimming through a plane and shit, and I was like, all right, this would look cool. This would look cool if the movie wasn't so fucking dark.
Yeah.
I was like 30 minutes in, I'm like, why do I feel like this movie is really dark? Even like the scenes that have light. And then Tatiana was like, yeah, this movie is really dark. I'm like, okay, I was worried it was just me. I'm like, why is it hard for me? Like, I'm like straining my eyes to try to see shit.
Maybe they should have put like night vision at certain points.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he has like his night vision and just like put on night vision for some. I mean, they could have done something to kind of pique the interest in some of these scenes.
That water flooding that plane though, I wrote down this is my worst nightmare.
Oh yeah.
I would be paralyzed with fear.
Yeah.
If I were in a plane and like even though we safely landed in the ocean, I'd be like, we're in the ocean. Mm-hmm. Like there's nowhere to go but down. Yep. This is just going straight down. And then even if you get out the plane,
you're treading water.
You're treading water, and you're in the middle of the ocean.
And it's just a matter of time before jabba jaw gonna grab your leg.
Yep, shark or a whale.
Yep,
that's the scary thing because at least sharks will make it like, especially if they're aggressive, they'll take you out. Like they might rip you up, and that's painful. But a fucking whale, dude. Like I get like I'm freaking out right now thinking about it, but like. In the heart of the sea, when they were fucking hunting those sperm whales, and just seeing the size of a whale compared to like their little dingy boats, I'm like, why would you even want to test nature like this?
Because it's money, baby. Cream gets the money. Dollar bills, y'all. Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bills, y'all. That's the only reason they did it. They was after that blubber, baby.
I hated it. I hated that scene. And then I was just also like, again, I can't really see what's going on. It looks cool, but I'm having a hard time following what's happening.
Well, it's not even just you had the hard time following. You just started to kind of lose interest.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I was kind of halfway bored. And this movie it's like a little over an hour and a half and stuff. It's under 2 hours, which is nice.
Yeah.
Nice change of pace for a lot of the movies that we watch. But yeah, it was just really boring. And even for John Kelly, I got why he was going after revenge, but I'm also like, there isn't anything likable about the way Michael B. Jordan's playing it. And I think that just goes to the writing. There wasn't enough about John Kelly that made me like latch on and be like, this is a dude I'll follow for like a franchise.
I mean, like when he went back to his house and then he like sees that like they tore the house up and yada yada and the bed was gone. He's like, ah! He's just screaming. Was like, okay, I mean, this was unnecessary.
Well, that's what I'm like. I don't know the director of this movie. Their name is Stefano Sollima. It looks like they directed some episodes of Gomorrah, and they did Sicario: Day of the Soldado, which I heard wasn't that great. And so for me, I'm like, I feel like between the direction and the writing, it just wasn't a good matchup.
Well, I think it's also part of it is like this nigga they let him out of jail. They're like, and you're gonna do this mission, and when it's over, you're going back to jail. I'm like, yeah, that's not how that's gonna work.
Nope.
That was just even stupid to say because like we know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like come on, man.
Well, I mean, the idea was though essentially John Kelly goes on this as a suicide mission.
Yeah.
Like he's looking to die. He's like, I just want to kill the people that did this and have them say, my wife's name, Pam, and then that's it.
Yeah.
But then, okay, so they track down the nigga that killed his wife that was at the house who was able to get away.
No, he blows himself up.
Well, that's the thing is like he then reveals that the
U.S. from Washington.
He's like a double agent for the U.S. government. And essentially, they set it up where they would both be at the same place, and he's going to kill himself to then make it look like America is striking on Russian, soil. Because they try to do the other thing, but they covered that shit up real quick.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole thing is that when the Russians attacked the SEALs, they covered up those deaths.
Yeah.
Really fast, which is crazy that they were able to get away with that. But it's also
a nigga literally got shot up in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, you can get the the truck thing. It's a hit and run. I mean, but somebody popping out of the back of a van with an automatic weapon and literally just fucking turning somebody into Swiss cheese. Yeah, that looks like a hit. And then the other guy in his unit is sleeping in his house, and and like 4 niggas pop up and then they fucking shoot shit up. Yeah, come on, y'all.
Also, yeah, I mean, it was a little implausible, and it was also like when John Kelly goes on his own to like try to like kill the Russian dude, and Jodie Turner-Smith is like, "No, he's going rogue. He's going to kill him," because they're supposed to bring the dude in.
Yeah,
I'm like, what'd you expect?
Yeah, well, like, what do you think was going to happen?
You literally brought the Terminator with you.
Yeah. Oh, and then after that dude blows himself up, there's like 3 snipers around, right?
I mean, Michael B. Jordan should have died.
I mean,
with the blast, that should have knocked him into something that was going to like impale him.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, yes. He
wouldn't be able to move that fast because the hearing alone, like,
they should have knocked off a center of gravity. Yeah. He should have been fucked up for a minute. I mean, but regardless, so you had the snipers thing when Jodie Turner-Smith, when she goes and she started fighting that the sniper, when she like kind of flanks him, comes in behind him, and her gun jammed, whatever. That fight wasn't a good fight for it wasn't a good look for women.
Well, like
he
I
was
said,
like throwing her around and shit. Like come on, like make her more badass.
But like I said, she was pregnant during this, so maybe they had to adjust the stuff.
Use a stunt double.
Well, yeah,
use a stunt double. Like that's fine.
Well, we talked about this with the Oegart. Like the fighting for American films is like so slow and like choreographed that it's not fair to those actors. Like it's not fair for the way that it's at least being filmed or like choreographed for it to look that bad and like that generic. That's the only reason why like the Fast and Furious series, I think they do really well by Michelle Rodriguez. She actually has some badass fighting scenes. Yeah, I thought the one with Ronda Rousey was a bit crazy, but
that was weird.
And Fast 6 when she's fighting Gina Carano, that was cool. And then
but Gina Carano's a real fighter, so she was able to control her body to make her not get hurt.
And then the newest trailer when she's fighting that dude and she knocks him through that window and shit. I'm like, that's dope. Like, give me more of that. Don't give me these stiff like. I'm trying to, it's just, it's mad boring.
Yeah.
Everything was so slow in this movie.
You know what? Like, I forgot what movie it was where these 2 guys, 2 actors, they've worked with each other. I think it was Donnie Yen. It's like they worked with each other a lot and they were just like, they didn't choreograph, they just fought. But they just like, they literally just fought, but they pulled their punches enough so like they didn't really fuck each other up. It's just like, I wish like you'd bring more accomplished martial artists if you're gonna do a martial arts fight where they do things like that and people who trust each other as opposed to some guy who comes in and's got an ego. You know what I'm saying? But even you look at Creed. Michael B. Jordan did a bunch of these, did a lot of the fighting in the ring.
Yeah, he said he got really knocked out and shit a few times.
Yeah, so like and that's because he put in the work. Is so where like
I mean, I think also Ryan Coogler was like, I think it's also the creative team around you, right? Like I feel like Ryan Coogler was like, hey, bro, like in order for us to do this the right way, you're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Like versus like we don't know what the conversations with him, and maybe because he has some creative control, he's like, I'm not trying to get beat up for this shit. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no. It's not that.
I mean, he did have that video where he was doing like the Keanu Reeves like gun. Training shit.
No. It's not that. It's just. I think I'm just talking about kind of U.S. Fighting scenes, as a whole. Hollywood's fight scenes as a whole. It's like I think the actors need to do more of the legwork, and then just like really learning how to do it, so then they can kind of just be themselves in that moment.
Real quick, we didn't talk about when he kills that Russian diplomat at the airport, and he gets out of the car. He holds up his hands and says, "I'm military."
Yeah.
What? Like that's not how this works. That's not how this works at all, bro.
It's like, first of all, them white cops.
Especially for black dudes. We saw this with Mortal Kombat when nigga was like, I've done 3 tours, motherfucker.
Nigga, we see that on body cams every other week.
I mean, there. I did write down with the, when they're like, on the plane, they're getting in the little boats and stuff like that. It made me randomly think of, do you remember in Jaws where that dude Quint talked about how he was on that ship that sank, and then the sharks started systematically like killing them all. Yeah, right. I was like, man, I really want to see that movie versus this movie right now. I was like, because that's an interesting story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sharks just start coming. It's like, gotcha, nigga.
Well, it's like you're in the Navy or whatever the fuck. Your ship capsizes, and then you're trying to just think about survival in the ocean, and then you all start getting killed by sharks.
Because they're waiting on the water. And
Yeah,
that's like, oh, it's a seal party. Ain't nothing but a seal party. And then no. That's not a seal. Let me try the other one. That's not a seal.
Yeah. I wrote down when they changed John Kelly's name to John Clark, which I was like, I rolled.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know anything about this series, but it's just like these names are terrible. I was like, yeah, they gotta change his name because everyone knows his nigga.
Yeah.
Everyone says his name.
Yeah. Well, and then
like they have no code names. Like they're like John Kelly, John Kelly, John Kelly, John Kelly.
But like when he at the end when he goes and sees the Secretary of Defense, the Thomas Clay dude. He's just like, tell me what happened, whatever. And then he just confesses everything and be like, everything's going to be okay. I'm going to live. And then he starts choking him. I was like, what did you think was going to happen? Tell him nothing. It's like he's going to kill you anyways.
Well, I mean, that's when he was trying to, Michael B. Jordan's pretending like, he was like, oh, I think I know who it is. It's Ritter or whatever because you're, trying to set him up. I was like, yeah, it's clearly Guy Pearce. It's been Guy Pearce ever since it was clear it's not Ritter anymore because Ritter was finally in the field with them doing the shit. And then
he's like, I had you pegged all wrong. The next thing you know, Guy Pearce standing there washing his hands. It's like, hey, John Kelly.
And I wrote down, I was like, it's a shame because Jamie Bell and Michael B. Jordan have been acting since they were kids.
Yeah.
And, I think they're around the same age, and they were in Fantastic Four together. So they've been through some shit together. I'm like, man, they're in another terrible movie.
Yeah, I mean, this movie was just very blah.
It was, and that's why I was like, they're trying to do a franchise off this?
Yeah.
I was just this is boring.
And then this nigga with those, at the end, he's got his glasses on with them sideburns looking like a fucking Temptation.
Oh, speaking of the hair, Michael B. Jordan's hair, fresh the whole movie.
No.
It's a fresh cut the whole movie. I get it's an action movie, but it's like, come on. You would look crazy. Especially when he's in the hospital going through physical therapy and shit.
Yeah.
He should have had a mini afro looking kind of like Samuel Jackson from Glass.
Should have had a beard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, especially like a military guy, and he's just like, and that happened to his wife, he should have been a mess.
Yeah. Also, when he's in Russia doing the shit that he's doing, he's wearing jeans. And Tatiana was like, that's not very practical because denim gets heavy. If it gets water or anything like that on it.
Maybe this
blood,
special tactical jeans.
I mean, it could be, but
actually, they actually could. They do have that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, when Michael B. Jordan was just saying to Ritter, "I was wrong about you," I was like, "That's it."
Yeah,
that's all we're getting here.
Not, hey, I'm sorry that I wanted to throw you out the helicopter earlier,
or like, hey, here are all the reasons why I thought you were a bad guy, but I guess I was wrong. Like, and then Ritter doesn't even respond. He's just like, And
he's just like, that's right.
That's right, boy.
Yeah, exactly. It almost seemed like that. Yeah, that's right, boy.
I wrote down the news stories too. Look terrible, like the worst green screen I've seen for these fake news stories. And then the editing that bathroom scene was rough. The way it kept cutting and the pacing was just weird.
I'm trying to think of the bathroom scene
when Guy Pearce's confession.
Yeah.
It was so, the timing was off.
I had checked out by then.
Same here. I mean, also, I was like, I know they were trying to start the war between the Russians and Americans, but did they not realize because John Kelly is black that they could inadvertently have started a race war as well?
How so? Tell me about that.
Because he's a black man and they found him, on site, they would have been like, the blacks are trying to,
Well,
because that the government would be like, we don't know that nigga. That he went rogue, and they'd be like, black people are trying to kill Russians.
Well, I mean, they would have killed the 4 to 5 black people that are fucking around in Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yo, if you're black and you listen to this and you're in Russia, get out.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. Get out.
This Russian girl told me, she was just like, oh no, there are parts of Russia which, would be fine. It's like, and then the other parts of Russia, which is like the rest of it. You don't go outside.
Yeah, like that's the thing too about like those places, Australia. Like I'd love to go visit. I'd love to go on vacation and check it out, right? See someone new.
Australia? You think Australia? Because Australia,
remember with the Aboriginals.
Well,
they put they put black people in caves, bro.
Yes, but at the same time, it's like they know.
They also have like bats and spiders that are fucking huge.
Well, let's not even talk about that. That's Australia is almost like the extension of the ocean, of the deep sea.
It's like the deep sea on ground,
on land. Yeah, and then they still got this fucking deep sea shit just floating around that.
They got spiders as big as that shit in Enemy.
Oh, stop it! So, I think the thing with Australia though is like it's almost like parts in Europe. They see you and they know you're not one of them because the Aboriginals also have a very specific look, and so therefore they're just like, oh, that's a different kind of black. You're not American black, and then now they're your friend.
Yeah,
but like. But it's weird because there are so many places around the world where, like, if we go, they're originally immediately just like, yo, get that dude. Paul said she knew some guys that were staying in Poland, and, like, they got stabbed in the middle of the day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, Poland is very racist. But then also, I know that because I met some Polish people who are very fucking racist
well, that makes sense.
That bullshit.
That makes sense. I mean, there's just certain places like I wouldn't go. I think the only reason why I'm remotely comfortable with going to Ireland at some point is because my last name is Collins and I'm like 19% Irish and shit. And I also know a lot of Irish people in New York, and they're like, yeah, I'll tell you, like, I'll send you here, like, I'll get you to meet up with this person and shit. So I would know like people. I would be like, I feel like I would be protected probably.
See, I don't. Part of me doesn't worry about where I travel because, like, I feel, for one, I think it's how you carry yourself.
Yeah, and you're not trying to kill nobody. Like, Michael B. Jordan looks like he's just trying to kill people this whole movie.
Well, yeah, he has his fucking mad kind of scowl on his face.
Yeah, he's got to stop with that because it looked like he had poo face for half the movie.
You and the poo face.
He looked like he had to take a shit. And in Creed, he takes shits a lot.
What?
Remember, because he needs his shit before every big fight?
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Which then technically wouldn't that drop him down in weight class, depending on how big that shit is?
No, Brandon.
Okay.
No. That's not how it works. And it doesn't matter because he's actually, he already weighed in, so he's fighting.
Has there ever been a fighter that, like, shit themselves when they got knocked out?
Yes.
Word?
Yeah. UFC. Yeah.
It's mad embarrassing.
Yeah.
Got the poop just squirting out those shorts.
Yeah, took that fucking stomach shot. They were still fighting and had shit in their pants.
Imagine you just
I've seen him.
I've seen the other fighters like,
oh god,
what the fuck?
Oh, actually, I have a fun story about that.
Okay,
so I did a tournament, and I did a grappling tournament in New Jersey, and so I had to cut down to 168. At the time, I think I was like 180.
Okay,
so I cut my weight. So you weigh in the day of, and then, so a lot, when you're cutting weight like that, a lot of it is like dehydrating yourself, getting the excess water out. So dehydrate myself, and I didn't eat anything that morning so I can make sure that I was on weight. Weigh in, I'm good. So immediately, I start, drinking water, eating, I have like a bagel with me, stuff like that. Get carbs in my system so I have the energy to, do this tournament.
Okay.
So, now, this is like the first tournament I've ever done. First tournament, yeah, so it's first tournament I've ever done. First match, this guy gets me in this Kimura. You guys know what it is, you know what it is, you don't. Basically, he fucks up my shoulder.
Okay.
It's like, I refuse to tap because I ain't going down in my first match. Going to my second match. So, before we before we went to this tournament, my trainer Sean, he was just like, and Sean, if you're listening, shout out to your brother, 'cause I know he's a listener. But Sean was just like, if somebody, he told us a Peruvian necktie. So a Peruvian necktie is,
That's when you slit the throat and you put the dick through the throat, right?
No. So like you put your arms, you lace your arms through and grab your own arm in a certain way.
Okay.
And you step above and you kind of sit down on them, kind of like you're sitting on their head. Okay. And so he told us the Peruvian necktie. He was like, yo, if somebody gets the Peruvian necktie in this tournament, I'll give you $300. So I'm just like, I'm broke. I'm going to get that money.
No, the things that Justin does for money.
So this guy shoots in at my legs. It was right there. He had him in the turtle position. And so, like, I cinch in the Peruvian necktie, the setup, step over and sit down, and I'm trying to lock it in. Now, mind you, I had a protein shake.
Oh no!
I farted on this kid's head. Oh, Brandon,
Hey, you have some bad farts sometimes.
It was hot. It was a protein fart. I thought it was so bad I thought I may have shit myself. So, like, I farted on this boy's head, and then he's like, oh, I can hear him, and he's kicking his legs, things like that, and I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of laughing. I can't even think about getting in the Peruvian necktie because the smell is rancid. Okay. I'm pretty sure people got up and left the mat because they didn't want to sit around that. It was horrendous.
I mean, you do have some bad smelling farts sometimes.
Oh no, this was a grade A fart, man. This is a terrible one. And then so he ended up getting out of it. Well, most of the time he was spent down there, so he was just basting them with shit this entire match. And then, like, we finished the match. I went on, and I was kind of like, I was embarrassed to even look at him. I was like, hey man, I'm sorry, shit on the back of your neck. But yeah, man, that's the time I almost shit on somebody. I won though. Went to the finals, baby.
All right. So Guy Pearce's character claims that he started all this conflict because if America doesn't have an enemy to fight, they start fighting themselves. And because of infighting the country, he was like, I want to give us a common enemy, which is Russia. Right? And I'm just like, okay. But then Michael B. Jordan drowns the nigga before he gets him to scream out his wife's name because he thinks that'll allow John Kelly to let him live. But it's like, clearly this dude has a track record. You're not getting out of here, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And then John Kelly just sits in the car. And it's like, okay, well, he's about to die. Okay. And then it's like, no, he got saved and then he got a new alias.
And it
was like, what?
It was wonky. He's just kind of just sitting there, just watching him die and watching him drown. He's just like,
Well, also, okay. And then we have a scene where, like a dream sequence where John Kelly is, he has a vision of his wife, Pam.
Yeah.
And then she says it's okay. Like, she's like, it's okay. Like, don't have this burden on you anymore.
Yeah.
And I wrote down, especially as two white dudes that wrote this script, I'm like, this is mad sexist. Because essentially you're saying the wife is giving the okay for John to go, like, continue living his life.
Well, yeah, to live.
I get it, but it didn't feel right. Because I don't think they did enough for Lauren London's character for us to understand where that was coming from. I get what you're saying, that was supposed to be for him to continue living his life, but it didn't come off like that.
It was just like, hey, go get some pussy.
It felt kind of just like, hey, don't worry about me.
I'm in a better place now.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, just keep it moving. Keep killing people. Like, what?
Kill niggas for me.
Are you man enough? Are you man enough to fight for niggas for me?
Justin, break down our rating system.
Guys, we it's fucking ridiculous. Guys, we rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the XL for the exceptional. If a movie doesn't deserve any popcorn, we throw it into the dog shit pile where we pile piles and piles of dog shit on top of it. So, Brandon, we sat down and we watched, what's the name of this movie? Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan, Jamie Bell, Jodie Turner-Smith, Luke Mitchell. Ooh, boy, such a riveting cast. What say you, sir?
Yeah, for such a good cast, and again, Taylor Sheridan co-writing this still gets a pile of dog shit. This is incredibly boring. Like, it's so forgettable too. Like, like if I didn't have my notes, I'd kind of be struggling to remember what happened in this movie.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just very generic. The only difference is that it starred, two black actors.
True.
Right? Which is a nice change of pace, but at the same time, it happened so little that I wasn't able to be like, yeah, this makes sense. As a black man, you could do this shit. Like, I think if, like, Hollywood had kept up with, like, putting Will Smith and, like, Denzel and other black actors in these roles are typically for white men, I wouldn't be feeling like this in 2021.
Yeah.
But because we're still in the situation, that's why when we watched Tenet, we talked about it.
Yeah.
And I don't, as a black man, that really fucks me up actually, because we watch so many movies for this show, dude, that like it doesn't sit well with me that I can't watch this movie and not be like, as a black man, this is implausible.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is what Michael B. Jordan, John David Washington did. They do these roles to try to break that mold. But it's just society hasn't met it yet.
Well, because it really comes down to it. Like, you have to account for the fact that he is a black man doing this, and I think that's the thing that Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's what they did there. Mm-hmm. They accounted for the fact it's like, oh, he's black, and they kind of called that out. And, how that changes everything, and that's the thing that doesn't happen in these movies. We're just supposed to just be like, okay, yeah. It's like he's just a man, but we're not just men. We're never been treated that way.
Yeah. So maybe that's a good point you brought up. Like, because I think what Falcon and the Winter Soldier did really well was they explained why Sam was like, yeah, I don't think I should do the Captain America thing. Just given what it stands for, and then when that show was that was really impressed me. So, but what's your rating?
I guess one of the things that make me all right. You mean to tell me that he's going to Russia, he's doing all these things, and not one person called him a fucking nigger? That's the thing. That's the thing is like nobody made any comments. Like when he was in prison, and those cops came in. You tell me not one of them dropped an N-bomb or said some inflammatory shit about black people. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that kind of makes it kind of like, this ain't real. Because as black people, we know that a lot of times if, it's the feeling that if a certain kind of person has the upper hand on you, they will take some liberties.
Yep.
So that's the thing that kind of takes black people out of it. If you're not black and you don't understand what we're talking about, that's what it is. And when that doesn't happen, like in these movies, it's just like, I don't know about that, because we know that in real world situations, they're gonna fucking berate you with fucking every racial fucking slur, talk shit about you. I'm gonna cut off your fucking dick. Da 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 da. Like that's what happens to us, and you can see it all throughout history. But as a rating, I'm gonna give this a small. Okay. I mean, some of the action was fun. It was good.
That plane scene was the best thing.
Yeah, I mean,
but again, I couldn't see it really.
It's just blah. The movie as a whole is blah, and it's very forgettable. And I don't think it's necessarily Michael B. Jordan's fault. I think it's the fact is we have an old, outdated script that wasn't prepared for 2020, 2021, whenever they filmed this. Well, I think 2019 actually. So I'm gonna give it a small.
Yeah, I mean, do you think a sequel like Rainbow Six is worth it, or should they just stop?
I think if they're going to update this and kind of do it, kind of to today's standard, it could be good. But it's just like at the same time, what's that movie going to be about? Mission upon mission, and with a SEAL team, it's just like, I mean, that could be interesting, considering the dynamics of people, but they're also going to be pulling people from everywhere. It's not going to be just like just Americans. It'll be Russians and yada yada yada. Yep. Which I think that adds another dynamic to it. But if you have that dynamic there, it's like, then you're going to have people who are not comfortable working under a black man. You know what I'm saying? So there's some, like, you have to talk about real world issues that are going to come up in these films. And I know some people was like, oh my God, why do we have to? It's like, because that's the only thing that makes it real for people. That's just my 2 cents, man. What do you think?
I mean, I would share my rating, but.
No. I mean, I'm saying, what do you think about the Rainbow Six film?
I mean, if it's better writing and they invest more in the fighting and the action scenes, and actually the cinematographer actually makes sure you can see the shit. I feel like I was watching that final Game of Thrones fight against the why am I blanking on it? Damn, it's been that long. the Winter King, whatever the fuck his name
Yeah, what are you
was.
talking about?
But that whole army, like that episode was mad dark.
Yeah.
I remember people were like, "Is my TV fucked up?" I'm like, "No, I think they just filmed this really weird, or maybe like they just went natural darkness, and that's why it's, it's trying to be realistic, but it's just painful for you as a viewer." Yeah, I wasn't feeling it. But if they change the creative team, potentially there's something there.
Could be good.
Potentially there's something there. Just how I could be a follow you.
Guys, you can follow me at jbrown.did it on Twitter and Instagram. Brandon?
Y'all can follow me at American Collins, AmericanCollins.com. You can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms, and all things Medium Popcorn can be found at www.mediumpopcorn.com. Justin?
Guys, you can follow me at jbrown.did it on Twitter and Instagram. And then you can take yourselves on down to patreon.com/mediumpopcorn. Get yourself some of this hotness as far as, the rant. What am I watching? The Zoom party nights. Guys, we got so much shit on there. If you're not on there, you're messing up.
That's right. And I just realized I made you say your plugs twice.
It's okay.
It happens. Sometimes we get in a Memento situation. Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
That movie, okay, did you ever see Memento?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time now.
Okay. If memory serves correct, right, it starts at the ending, right? Mm-hmm. And then he goes back in time. He kills Joe Pantoliano even though he actually is the bad guy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he's the bad dude, right? He's the dude that killed the chick, right?
Again, I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay, we should watch it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I feel like Guy Pearce is on the list. All right, folks. Don't forget to sign up for Patreon. For real, like, we've been giving y'all lots of content. Just, it's a nice thank you, but then you also win because you get a bunch of bonus episodes and shit that you didn't even know you needed. And there's some wild stuff on the Patreon.
Oh, yes, there is.
I'm telling you, there's some wild episodes because there's episodes we've done on Patreon where we're like, hey, we ain't trying to get canceled, but this is behind the paywall, so y'all ain't gonna cancel us because you're big fans.
We know y'all love us, so we're gonna let this shit rock.
So check it out, y'all. All right. We love you. We hold you. Peace. Laura London, if you're listening to this, call me. Don't call me.
Medium popcorn. We are two niggas spoiling movies. Yeah. Brandon Collins, that's me, and Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn. Woo! You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it. Spoil it in your face. That's your warning. So if you get pissed, it's all your fault.